So for fun fact number 2 of the day, do you know what one of the most expensive beers in the world is?
Bourbon barrel aged stout.
Good guess. It's actually oatmeal stout. And do you know why it is the most expensive beer in the world?
Because it takes a really, I don't know.
Yeah, fair. It is because it is made with the world's most expensive coffee.
One and a two and a three. Hello. Welcome to our Sipisode Body by Beer, brought to you by Mustard Later.
Hello, world. I'm Chelsea Rhodes.
And hey there, I'm Liz Hess, and we are diving deep into the podcast universe with Body by Beer.
We're your new beer buddies. Bringing you tales of the tap room, history in a pint, and all the culture that brews along with it.
That's right. This is for all you hopheads, stout snobs, and just bubbly banter listeners out there. Welcome to our Sipisode. New
Sipisode. Welcome.
Body by Beer. Welcome.
Thank you for joining us today. We'll be dropping new episodes every Wednesday on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. In addition, follow us on all of the social medias under Mustard Later.
We got a great episode coming up for you today. We'll be talking about holidays, special events, seasonal releases, and holiday preparations. So grab your favorite brew, come hang out with us, give this episode a listen. Today we are indulging in Gold Spot's Brewing, batch 250.
I saw this, and I saw that it matches your shirt. You're gonna catch me up on what you're doing here?
Later. I'm saving it as a teaser. See if anybody can connect the dots. Also, this is delicious, by the way.
It is.
Not sure if you can get it, but
it is very delicious.
Was very good. It's still, I still have some.
Still good. But first, we're going to jump into this episode with one of our favorite segments, Brew News.
Brewing news, brew news.
Brew News. If you are interested in sponsoring any of these segments or an entire podcast, feel free to hit us up. Shoot us an email. We'd love to hear your thoughts and get something going.
We'll make a partnership together.
Oh.
We'll get into that later, too.
Our brewership.
A brewership.
All right. First piece of our Brew News here.
Brew news.
A Virginia Tech study reveals that global climate change may actually alter the taste of your favorite beers.
I mean, I get climate change and the discussion around how does that work? What do you mean?
Well, what the study showed is that as the climate is changing all around us, as we get more or less water in different areas, temperatures are getting warmer. This is actually going to change the flavors of the hops. So,
interesting.
Yeah, not just like yields, but that is going to be part of it, but actually like the flavor profiles. Like think of something that might be a little more relatable. Grapes, right? Grapes are so variant based on what goes around and the environment. Sensitive, yeah. Hops are pretty similar.
Okay. Yeah, so I imagine that directly affects the brew process as well, or at least the operations and business behind it, meaning maybe things get more expensive or you don't get access to it or it's limited access.
Yeah. I mean, some of your favorite beers, either they might have more or less of that hops. They might have to swap over to a different flavor of hops even.
Oh, gosh. So I start drinking heavily now, or I just start storing it in my cellar?
Always now.
Oh, I don't need to drink heavily. I do like drinking.
Always now.
Okay, in the moment. Yes. Cheers. One of my favorite segments of the Brew News is the beernomics, or the beer economics of it all.
Yeah.
Not saying we know everything, but I love getting my Google alerts in and being like, what is happening in the world?
What's going on? Yeah, it's going to be... I wish like IPAs stored longer.
Sure, yeah.
So you could like really kind of get the verticals and start tasting the difference over years. They just don't last as long as stouts. So
So savor that next IPA.
Savor it. You just
gonna taste different.
Might be better.
Could be good.
Might be better. Sometimes forcing change makes.
I love change.
Makes things better. Isn't that how chocolate chip cookies were made? It's like an accidental change or something.
I don't know. Tell me more.
I don't know. Something like that.
We'll have to get into that.
I know about beer, not cookies.
Oh, well. I wish I knew more about cookies. I probably do. I know how they taste.
So I like to eat cookies.
Yeah. Cookie monster. All right. Shout out to, New School Beer and Cider web magazine. They recently did an article on partnerships and collaboration within the industry as a means of breweries surviving. Here's Here's a fun fact. I'm not stepping on your fun fact toes, but do you know who makes the house beer for Red Robin? The burger place where you get endless fries.
I do not.
New Belgium.
New Belgium.
New Belgium makes their house beer.
Oh.
Yeah, I got one more for you. What about Buffalo Wild Wings? You know who makes their house beer?
You
did
Buffalo, New York.
We went to their brewery in Chicago. It was a pretty big hit on our short segment. It was about stouts.
Goose Island?
Goose Island.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Very neat.
They make their lager?
House beer.
Just house beer.
House beer. Probably a lager. Yeah.
You know, it's not often that I say, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings, but now I'm kind of like, maybe let's go try out a brewski.
Yeah, I do miss the days of endless Buffalo Wild Wings in my mouth.
I think last time I went, I did not have a great experience.
Fair. You got to have a good cook on those wings.
It wasn't even the cook.
No?
Our poor server, I think about 4.5 inches of her ass crack was hanging out, and she couldn't stop bending over at every table, and it was a lot of butt crack. And I'm someone that is notoriously has my butt crack out. It was a lot of butt crack.
A lot of ass.
A lot of ass going on at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Was that here in the Denver area?
I'm not going to say where it was. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. But people that were there, you know what butt crack I'm talking about.
Fair. If you're listening, thanks for listening. Goose Island and Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks to them for making their house beer.
So how do you think that's going to contribute to the movement of the space going forward? Like, obviously those are big names and they're at big places, but does that really help the small craft brewers?
Sure. Sure. And I think you see it a lot already. You get some celebrity endorsements coming through. You get brewery on brewery collaboration. Those are amazing partnerships. You get local restaurants teaming up. They don't have to be big names, right? Teaming up with local craft brews. Any sort of strategic partnership or just relationship, right? That's good for life advice. That's good for business advice, just in general. So partnerships and collaboration. So if it's a win-win, it's a win-win.
One of the breweries we used to work at had a house beer on it. One of the hef, but I don't remember which bar it was on it. But that was I mean, it was years ago. It was more than a minute ago, but that was like one of the first times I'd seen it at a smaller brewery. Yeah, and I thought it was really cool. And then we just heard about 2 of the local breweries here that are gonna kind of combine into the same location, and I thought that was a really good partnership opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see where that takes and how many other breweries are gonna start going on something along that realm. I think there's some logistical issues of like, you can't have 3 or 4 brewers being hired, but if the brewer is the owner and now you're just kind of doing like a rev share and split and stuff, I could see.
Sure, I think just rev share makes good sense.
Oh yeah, just save on rent. So it's kind of an
especially
interesting
here
concept.
In Denver,
yeah. I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, if I was looking up stuff and they were all equal distance, and I had one brewery to go to, or I could go check out 2 in the same place, and it's still considered a brewery. Like I don't know how that affects the licenses versus like a tap house either.
Well, so I often think about old Chicago. Say what you will, but they're amazing for supporting local breweries, and they have 40 taps or something like that consistently, and especially the one over in Westminster, and I'm sure they're like that all around, but that's usually the only one I've ever been to or go to. That's an incredible partnership, right? Or tap takeovers, right?
Love a tap takeover.
And maybe that's just a conversation for distribution, right? I think it's a great topic.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about that over and over.
Yeah, see, we're more partnerships. I love collab beers. I will almost always choose a collab beer if there's something on tap, because why not? I like having 2 different breweries make something together that they think is great.
Sure.
It's always fun.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
The more the
we
merrier.
are the world. We are the people.
The more the
merrier. Yeah, and then in a local news update. Okay. So you asked about the beer.
I did.
Why are we drinking Gold Spot,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Why do I have this shirt on?
Yeah.
So actually, it's a shout out to Calissa and the crew over at Gold Spot Brewing. Calissa was actually awarded with the Brewer of the Year award over at the Vine Pair Next Wave Awards.
Wow. That's awesome. I did not.
Go, Calissa.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Also, your beer is amazing.
Beer is amazing.
Beautiful.
We did a brewery tour there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check out one of our shorts. Yeah. We did do the tour.
Yeah, we did the tour there. Great place, great mission, great people. Oh, there's not enough good things to say about Cold
Started from the bottom, now she's at the top.
Ooh.
Keep referencing Drake.
That is twice. That is twice. This one works really well, though. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Drake, if you would like to sponsor a segment, we will keep throwing in quotes from your songs.
Yeah, you probably need our presence to be more popular.
Obviously.
Yeah. So let us know, Drake.
We're willing to sacrifice and allow you to come onto our platform.
Not even a sacrifice. I'll just scoot over.
All right. Well, that's some good brew news. Let's jump into
a little more serious
Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited about this one. This came up on one of the Facebook beer groups that we follow. This conversation had, at least when I looked the other day, over 170 comments, which is massive. And it was probably an easy eye-opener of we should probably talk about this. So we're going to jump right into it. It seems to be nearly a trigger question for people.
There was a lot of animosity in the comments.
A lot of animosity, which I just was not expecting, but it happens.
So the question.
So the general question that came up was someone that was posting said that they have a customer that comes in. This person that's posting this was the taproom manager, right? Lead bartender. And basically they have this person that comes in. They hang out for a decent amount of time. They come in regularly. They ring up around a $70 tab. They play the games. They use other resources, but they never tip. And it didn't know what to do about it. And so here we are. Let's jump in. What do you do about a non-tipping regular, Elizabeth?
Gosh, if I was standing behind the bar right now, I may have a different opinion. But I built my entire life and career basically from being a servant to the industry, right? Whether it be behind a hotel counter, a blackjack table, a bar, whatever it might be, tipping has always been brought up. So if there's a regular sitting there, I can't shun the person. I don't think you can in general. So there, like we said, there was a lot of animosity around, do you say something to the person? Do you not say anything to the person? How do you treat them? How do you not treat them? And so I definitely have to lean on the side of they're still supporting the business, right? So they are sitting there, they are drinking your product. And in a way, if they're bringing anybody else in, they're also spreading word about your product, right? So hopefully, you hope that they're at least kind, they say thank you. I at least hope it seemed like they did. And it could be different in a different situation.
For sure. I think from the question, they said the person wasn't awful. They weren't great. They're just kind of there. So they weren't a total J-hole or anything.
A jackass, a jackhole, an asshole.
It's J-hole. I don't even know what that is.
You can coin it or you can let it go.
Yeah.
So
what's you can't necessarily treat
I don't
them
think you
poorly,
can be a J-hole to them. I don't think you should do
that.
Okay. I don't think you should do that. Whether it's just basic minimum, hey, practice your serving skills. The glass was clean. I made the perfect pour and I presented it to them. I made sure if the beer was empty, I filled it up, and I thank them for coming in, right? End of the day, you're the bigger person. Again, I've lived on tips my whole life, so I know how important they are. I'm not saying that they're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you got to be the bigger person, right? They're one of how many people that walk through the door. Yeah. And if they set you off in a bad mood, that may affect the rest of your day.
Yeah, don't let them do that. Don't let them have that control over you.
It sucks, but try to do the best you can. Okay. And treat them well.
Yeah.
Maybe not over the top.
Yeah, I think...
don't go above and beyond.
I think there's...
Or you could.
There's kind of a reasonable expectation of... Yeah, I get why it's frustrating, and even more so, the at least from the post, I'm pretty sure they sat at the bar, which is a note for anyone that's a customer listening to this, like that's a bartender's prime spot for
That's VIP
regulars.
sitting.
That's like VIP sitting. So like go to a table. Don't necessarily take a bar seating because that's like the gold spot of like the people that bring in their families to come like see you over the holidays, and like your best regulars usually sit at the bar. So I get why people would be frustrated by this.
Sure.
I think end of the day, like I agree with you. You definitely can't be mean to them. You can't ask them to leave. You can't ask them to tip. I don't think that really on any realm you should cross that barrier of talking about your finances and tipping with your guests. I think that is a vicious cycle that can get out of control very quickly. Yep. So I would never recommend that with them. But don't let someone control your mood that way. You already know it. So at that point, just accept it and move on. Like we've all had the people that don't tip. Yep. Just move on with your day. Like, you don't be an a-hole to them. J-hole to them. And like give them good service. You could try to, in a way, make it like a game. I don't know. Try to get them to tip. Maybe you do the opposite. Maybe it's a slow night and like you go way above and beyond. Oh. And maybe that gets them to tip. But don't go into it with the expectation of it because you already know they're probably not going to. But just like move on with your day. That's kind of my stance on it. I think there is a percentage of your paycheck that is not based on tips, that is consistent and it's guaranteed. And it's because of that $70 bill the person racks up 3-4 times a week that they're in there. And
or whatever it is.
They are still paying your wage.
Yeah.
So you just can't say anything. But I did notice what I wanted to talk to you about. There was a lot of comments about like, let it be, and like tip culture is stupid and we shouldn't have to do that. So like to not dive too deep into the animosity, like I have thoughts on that. Do you have any thoughts built up around that?
Whether or not people should tip?
Yeah, just like the tip culture in general. Where I think people get lost in the battle of the tip culture is, well, then fine, everything's just going to be more expensive. Like to pay a livable wage, it comes because of the tips. Right. So instead of your $6 beer and you tip $1 on it, now it becomes an $8 beer because they got to pay everybody, I mean, depending on where you live, different like wages, but you got to pay everybody a bunch. Like, so to me, it's kind of a half dozen, one or the other, blah, blah, blah thing. Like whatever happens, you're going to end up paying for it. And honestly, I think tipping is going to be less than what you probably are going to pay if everyone just had to get paid a livable wage and tips weren't a thing.
That's a good point.
It's just, I mean, we just jumped into this like lower prices for competition and then kind of shot ourselves in the foot without getting too intense in it. But like, you're going to pay it no matter what. So I think because you hate the tip culture, you're also taking this out on the wrong people. Like you're taking it on the people that really do need it to live. And you're not really making a good stance. You're yelling at the wrong person. You're yelling at the person that, one, is just getting harmed by it, and they can't change anything about it. So, like, take your movement elsewhere and don't take it out on the people that need it, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
That's all I want to get into it.
Yeah,
I was surprised at the animosity that like people were just so hard-headed,
especially
on, like,
because
it's culture.
It's a specific group, right? I mean, it's a service industry group. Service industry being hospitality or food and bev.
Weirder.
So that I found pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I'm all about good service. Absolutely. They came to talk to you, not necessarily hear your stories, right? Because they want to share with you their lives and their experiences, but how you present the beer, the food, or the cards, whatever it is that you may be doing. I mean, it's an experience. Yep. That is what
you
people come in to see.
Yeah.
So it could be interesting to get into that a little bit more at a later time.
Yeah.
Maybe ponder on a little bit. Maybe we drink a little more and then we could just super banter about it back and forth. But
now's the best time
for all
of any time.
For everything other, like thanks for visiting at least every brewery, bar, casino, hotel I've ever worked at. Thank you, right? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting the entertainment that we've presented to you. This is kind of like entertainment, so thank you for supporting this. It is entertainment, right? It's just in a different way.
It's literally what we plug ourselves under.
Yeah, entertainment.
Entertainment.
It's not travel anymore. I did make that mistake.
Oh, yeah, it happens. And we're not education. Because there's a lot of work we have to do if we plug ourselves as education. We have to talk about the lessons we're teaching. It's exhausting, so we'll just be entertainment.
Is it syllabi, platypi, syllabus, platypus?
That's a good warm-up statement.
Actually, I do like that.
That's better than how now brown cow.
We're going to be making sure, and we contribute on these groups, so we're not trolling by any means. We appreciate the comments and suggestions that do come in. This one was kind of near and dear to the heart, so we wanted to make sure we touched on it.
And if you guys have questions, we're going to prioritize questions that come in directly to us, and this one was just too good to resist, and plug them in. Let us know. We'd love to hear your questions, and hopefully you want to hear our thoughts on it. I guess we'd love to know your question you want to hear us talk about.
I think that's how they put it. Just in a different way. Yeah, we're just being blunt about it.
On to the next segment.
The main segment.
Yeah. Oh God, I have to start it. The holiday season is upon us. Comes with an exciting array of seasonal events. Breweries transform from buzzing hubs and festivals.
That's true.
What's your favorite part?
Oh my gosh. And you're so right, Chelsea. Absolutely. From Oktoberfest to Christmas ale releases, breweries, bars, tap rooms, brew pubs, casino hotels, whatever it may be. They're creating experience that bring communities together. I'm going to go on that over and over again because my life has brought me to the point of community, communication, and collaboration. And I help write the script, so this is what you get.
Yeah, there you go.
So cozy tap rooms adorned with lights and decorations and Christmas cheer. People are like, oh my God, the Christmas music's already playing. And I'm like, I love Jingle Bell Rock. It's so much fun.
I love Halloween to the end of the year because I love decorations.
Like the Nightmare Before Christmas?
I love when they're crappy. I love when they're gorgeous. I love every aspect of all of them.
Nice.
I just like seeing what people come up with. And it's just fun. Like, it's such a fun way to showcase your personality, either as like the owner or the brewer or the crew, whoever kind of gets it going. It's like such a fun way to just be like, we're a little bit unique. Like we wanted to go to one of the breweries that had like a whole haunted house. We just didn't unfortunately end up making it.
Who had the haunted house?
Called Arms.
Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, we were gonna try to trick Kevin into going, and then we didn't. And then we didn't go downtown, and so we couldn't trick him into going.
Okay, that
because he doesn't like scary stuff.
He doesn't like scary things.
But like, how fun! Like, it just gives you this chance to show this other side of yourself as a brewery, and it's just so much fun. Like, for the most of the year, everything kind of stays the same, but all of a sudden you get to really express differently. And I'm sorry, if you've ever worked in a place that decorates on any of these holidays, everybody walks in and just has an awesome smile. People love it, whether they want to admit it or not. It completely livens up the mood. Yeah. The decorations are what make it a festive time. It's the energy that it changes. Yeah. And you have fun events like the ugly sweaters or dog costume contests. Like, those are some of my favorite ones, and they never get old. Like, do you have any like favorite ones that you've seen?
I'm all about the Santa photos. Santa. Love Santa photos, especially when I sit there with Rem. Remy is my dog.
Gotta take the dog.
She makes
the family.
She's really photogenic. Yeah. Toys for Tots. I'm all about giving and the food drives. Whatever event you can do to, give during this time of year, right? Be thankful for what you have and maybe give some because you can, or if you can't, that's okay too. Walk around with a smile. Yeah. Smiling's my favorite.
Just contribute to the awesome, happy energy.
Yeah, I love what you're saying. It is truly about the ambience. I mean, it is sticking with the theme of it's about the unique experience that you present for people. I'm not just walking in and seeing the same marble countertops or the same bar. I mean, this bar now has garland and lights or candles, whatever it may be.
All the fun.
Or Halloween, in your case, apparently it would be the Pumpkin King Jack, the skeleton with a Santa's hat on, maybe? Yeah. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
That doesn't matter.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
some places.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love it. I love seeing that extra bit of personality come out.
For sure.
And it, like I said, it brings everyone in a good mood, makes people happy. I think it also from being on the side of the bar, I feel like when people walk in and they see that openness, maybe I feel like it's almost an exaggeration to call it vulnerability, but they see that openness of the bar, all of a sudden, like, they feel more open and they want to experience, they want to share and talk about their experiences.
Absolutely. What are they doing for the holidays? How many people do they have coming into town? What's the spread look like? Are we doing turkey? Are we doing ham? Are we doing tofu? Like, what's up?
Yeah. It's just an exciting time of the year.
Sides.
And it starts off the seasons where we kind of touched on this before. It was always my favorite is people start bringing in their family that's in town. Yeah. And it's just the coolest feeling to know you are that special to people. And you
gotta meet my bartender, Chelsea.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just so cool. And that's the start of that season. And it's great. I love all of it.
Fair.
This is just the start of it going forward.
You know what else I really like are the seasonal releases, right? So not only
we kind of forgot to talk about beer.
No, we didn't. We're just getting into it. We're ramping it up.
Oh, man.
So you've got lights, you've got music, you've got bartenders, beer tenders, wait staff, concierge ready to serve you a beverage or an experience. Yeah. And some breweries wait all year to release, or months, sometimes 2 years, depending on the age of the beer. Yeah. Stouts.
Yeah.
Wild Christmas ales.
Oh, yeah. I think because it's the season of like darker, bigger, more boozy beers, you get to have those big special releases. Like we said before, like IPAs just don't necessarily age that well. And you have Piney. You've got these you've got like this big IPAs that do come out, and they are these huge events. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, it's not the same as something that's been aging for 18 months.
33 months.
Yeah, like,
I have to go pick that up from New Image, by the way.
Oh yeah. So it's a really special season, and I feel like it kind of gives the brewers a chance to really showcase something special.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of risk, and
it's not
a
just
lot of
cranking
reward,
out the regular.
It's a lot of me buying way too expensive beers that sit in my beer cellar.
There is a lot of bottles on the shelf for sure.
Oh, but they're so good, and it's like you feel the love and excitement, especially when you can hit up those bottle releases, like, and just everyone's there, just excited. Oh man, I've been working so hard on this, and there's just something really cool.
What's the limit?
About
Can
that.
I only buy 5? Can I buy 6? I really want 6.
I want all of them.
And then you give them away as gifts. I think it was 2 years ago. Upslope again had a barrel age release, and I never even got to try the beer till a year later when y'all were like, "Hey, we've got one more bottle."
We hid
and I was
one,
like,
and we
thank
gave
God
the
I
rest
gave
of
them all away.
Yeah, we gave the rest as gifts, but they're great gifts, like unique beers that they're never gonna.
That was my dad for poor preparation.
Yeah, people aren't gonna find them again, and they're special and they're fun to share. Right? It's the season of sharing.
Sharing is caring,
and it's about sharing it together, and that's the beauty of craft beer in general. You just get to share everything together.
That's
I love
right.
it.
And you really got to give it to the establishments. Again, breweries know this day comes around every year. They have a calendar. They watch it. They're prepared. Yeah. They're all about being proactive. Yeah, that's fair. We could get into that too. Proactive versus reactive. Drinksgiving, for example. What is Drinksgiving? It is the #1 to-go sale of beverages in the craft beer industry the day before Thanksgiving. Is that correct? Am I saying that right?
It's up there for most breweries for sure.
Top 5, top 10.
Yeah, you definitely want to be stocked up on stuff to go. I mean, Christmas is up there, but Thanksgiving, for whatever reason, just cranks out beer. Just get stuff prepped. You're not gonna over prep, and it's a good day to make sure that you are not caught off guard. Maybe, or you don't have your fridge full, or you don't have enough stuff pre-poured.
Yeah, make sure you've got to go in. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe we're over here like, oh, we love that families come and visit us, and our regulars are like, oh my God, I need like 3 extra cases because my mother-in-law is going to be here. I need the good stuff, Liz.
They're like, these bitches will talk to my family.
Entertain them.
Yes, come entertain. Look at this is my favorite bartender. Entertain my mom, please.
Dance, monkey, dance. Isn't she funny?
And we're like, oh, and they're like, thank you.
I mean that in a great way. Yeah. Still love it. Don't care whatever the motive is behind it. Still a big fan of that.
Favorite part by far.
If you don't, we would recommend following your favorite brews, tap rooms, brew pubs on all of their social media so that you can actually stay up to date on those releases coming out, special events. There is not a uniform way to see what everybody's doing under one roof. So make sure anytime you visit your favorite brewery or a new brewery, and you're like, oh my God, I really like their stuff, or I like the ambiance, I like the bartenders, make sure you're following them so you can stay up to date with what they're doing, especially with holiday times and release events, especially during this particular season.
Yeah, get some special beers, but you don't know if you don't know.
Do you have any like one particular memorable holiday story behind the bar, or I love the fall. I've said that already. I love Oktoberfest. So I love, and this is not Christmas by any means, I love when Oktoberfest season rolls around and I get to put my lederhosen on. And for those of you that aren't familiar with lederhosen, it's lederhosen, but they're short for ladies like myself who maybe don't want to put the dirndl on or whatever reason it may be. I like my short shirts and I like my suspenders. And anyway, so and it really gets the people going.
Are they cut off?
It's not ass crack cut off, but it's like
like the jorts.
Yes, it's the short version of German jorts made of leather because you need leather working in the fields. But if you're wearing short shorts, it's not really protecting anything. But that was always my favorite because getting in costume and getting into, so I guess it isn't one particular story.
What you said,
I did say a particular memory.
I could bust out the picture from the Halloween when I was the Ratatouille rat. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty good.
I do like Halloweens. It was for like a 5-year-old, and I barely fit into it.
The suit was.
Yeah.
The costume was.
I couldn't. I could fit into it, but I couldn't move. Like when I got into the car, I had to get drove to work because I had to lean all the way back to get into the car. And then when I got in, Johnny had to pick up everything that either I would drop or like storage from below because I couldn't bend over.
So you were a terrible rat.
I was a terrible rat. And I was like, help me. I couldn't get anything up. The feet came out of my knees because it was such a... Well, there a picture there. I was thinking Christmas stories. Forgot the Ratatouille.
I always love that people, they bring... their special treats. There was a particular husband and wife and their little girl that came up to the last brewery I worked at, and he made amazing peanut brittle. And I love peanut brittle. And they share that with you. And I was just like, thank you for sharing, right? Because they're like, hey, you're giving us beer. Here's some yummy treats that I made. I love the treats that come in. Absolutely.
That's
please.
Fair. We do a lot of treats.
Yeah.
So for Halloween, I don't like that one as much. Everyone tends to come dump all their leftover candy.
I'm also okay with that.
They didn't want. So it's just like all the Twizzlers.
I love Twizzlers.
Yeah, but not when there's like 1,000.
Somebody probably wants a Twizzler. So then you just put it back up on the bar.
Just put it on the bar. Someone eats it eventually. Candy always gets eaten eventually. Well, there you go.
All right. I want to hear some more fun facts brought to you by Chelsea, but could be brought to you by you.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to sponsor that.
I love that intro. That was really nice.
Okay.
I've been kind of holding them in my back pocket for a special day such as today. So the first one, do you know the rumored story of where Bocks come from? Bock beers.
Oh, the composer?
Yes. He was born a long time ago. No, Bock beers.
Okay. No, I don't.
So this is, I'm gonna lay the groundwork. This was acknowledged as like an ongoing joke. This is not an actual fact, but it is fact that it was an ongoing joke with the brewing world. That Bock beers happen to show up. Tend to be a little bit more of like a fall to winter. And it was right after the brewers way back in the day would do their like big clean and the big boil to like get all the guck out of all their tanks.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. And so the joke is Bock beers are just all of the leftover crud from their tank from the year of brewing.
So they're shit.
They're the leftover guck.
I'm just kidding.
We'll call it the guck. Is the joke. They're not actually from that, but that's the joke, is that they're the guck beers of everything left over.
I like that.
I
So
thought
it was
it was
really
funny.
just like a convenience of timing.
Yeah.
Seasonal. We're
Seasonal.
talking about seasonal. We're releasing dark beers, but we're also cleaning the tanks from,
Yeah, you gotta clean them.
brews that just got done at brewing.
We tend to clean more than once a year now, but
Oh, I
like
didn't
back
know
in
that.
the day, like they just kind of it's kind of like a cast iron pan. You just kind of let it do its thing. No, no, they don't do that. So it was the guck. That's the joke of the Bock. So it's like a fact, but not fact. It's like a wise tale of silliness. So I liked it. I enjoyed that one. So for fun fact number 2 of the day, do you know what one of the most expensive beers in the world is?
Bourbon barrel aged stout.
Good guess. It's actually an oatmeal stout. And do you know
oatmeal stout.
why it is the most expensive beer in the world?
Because it takes a really, I don't know.
Yeah, fair. It is because it is made with the world's most expensive coffee.
Okay.
And that coffee comes from the Cabot cat, which is nearly a weasel. It comes from their poop. So it's poop coffee.
Poop coffee oatmeal stout.
Poop coffee oatmeal stout. Most expensive beer in the world.
The civet cat, the weasel.
The civet cat? Yeah. It's like, is it a weasel? Is it a cat? I don't know if they totally know, but basically they
Comes from their guano.
yeah,
That's how they collect the coffee beans from their poop.
so apparently they have a very fruit-rich diet, and then they also eat the coffee beans, and then when they poop it out, they don't fully digest it, and it has a very fruity cherry berry flavor, and so they like grab the not fully digested coffee beans from the poop, make coffee. It's the world's most expensive coffee, and now also the most expensive beer.
Would try. Poop
Would
or not.
also try, but it's still poop beer. I love that poop beer is the most expensive thing. And poop coffee. That's hilarious to me.
Everybody loves a good poop joke.
Loves a good poop joke. Good, clean family fun right here. And you saw it on Body by Beer. We got through our fun facts. What do you have for some food pairing for us, Lizzie?
Ooh, brews and bites.
Brews and bites. I like that. Anything to do with poop?
Absolutely not.
Bummer. That was fun.
We already did oatmeal stout, at least for this season, so we don't have to venture back to that. Actually, what I was thinking, we were going to talk about a spice winter ale.
Okay.
'Tis the season.
Yeah.
And a hearty beef stew.
Ooh.
'Tis the season, right? Comfort
Warm and
foods.
warm, yeah.
Yeah, warm foods. Upslope out of Boulder, Colorado, they've been known to do a really good spice winter ale in the past. So if you're in the area, check out either of their tap rooms. Maybe they've got one coming up on tap, in a bottle, in a can. Not sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those beers we talked about earlier that I've spent way too much money on.
Yeah, we did bring that up.
Yeah, they are 100% on that list for me.
Yeah. Also, they just celebrated their 15-year anniversary. 15.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations to them.
We were there.
Yay. Okay, so why a spice winter ale and a hearty beef stew? So the spice winter ale, seasonal beer, it's typically malty sweetness and the symphony of spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And it has a medium body and caramel undertones.
Okay.
Sounds good so far, right?
Yeah.
Especially on a chilly day. And then the hearty beef stew, it's a rich, savory, comfort food kind of dish with tender pieces of beef, root vegetables,
Yeah.
and a nice gravy.
So is it the beef or the veggies that are like really making this pair come to life?
Oh,
This pairing come to life?
yeah. Really, it's both. It's the earthiness. It's the
Oh.
earthiness of the root vegetables
Okay.
and the beef, perhaps, that complement each other. So the spices of the winter ale and that earthiness kind of enhance that overall experience between the two.
Okay. All right.
And then also they, rather than complementary, it's the opposite. They have a contrasting textural experience. So the liquid, hearty nature of the stew, and it provides that nice contrast to that effervescence.
Interesting.
That frothiness of the
So
beer.
you're not only like pairing flavors
Mhm.
in complementary flavors, and then whatever the opposite of complementary flavors are.
Contrasting.
Thank you. But you also are pairing like the mouthfeel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, medium body, right? We're always talking about mouthfeel when we're talking about our drinks and our foods, for sure, right? Because it's that overall experience, right? That overarching topic of giving a unique experience. And for these two in particular, that balance is really in the robust flavor of both of them, and they definitely don't overpower or disappoint the other.
All right, I never thought about comparing or trying to pair the mouthfeel with it. Does the contrary mouthfeel also work as a pairing, or just on flavors?
It's a textural experience.
What do you do opposite
here,
textures?
Here, let me get into it. Yeah. So our other option is a dessert for you sweet tooths out there. So the spice winter ale, again, look for those characteristic spices and subtle sweetness.
Okay.
A pecan pie.
Ooh, that's my favorite pie.
Yeah? Excuse me.
Yeah. I know that's like the worst for you, but like
it's pie.
If I could have a pecan pie versus but it's like way worse. It's like drinking like a
barrel-aged stout.
No, I was thinking the White Russians.
Oh, sure.
Where there's like 1,500 calories in each. The pecan pie is the worst.
I mean, if I can survive off of White Russians, we can survive off of White Russians.
Like pecan or pumpkin. Oh,
it's so good.
Pecan trumps every pie.
It's a gooey, sweet, filling, crunchy dessert, and that buttery crust. Yeah. Don't forget the crust. Yeah. It's all about it. So they have a harmonious sweetness, these two. So that's not contrasting, but more compatible.
But like the mouthfeel, how do the mouthfeels like?
Sure, that textural play.
Yeah.
So you have the crunchy pecans, the smooth filling, and again, I'm going to come right back to it. They contrast with the effervescence of a beer.
Oh, okay. So it kind of like helps wash it down, and
that's what people say. They wash it down,
brighten it up a bit, almost change the flavor a little bit.
Changes it subtly.
I kind of think of like
this is more complimentary.
Yeah, I would say this is a little bit more complimentary. Mm-hmm. Like the opposite, I would think of something that you're like, oh, this is heavy, and I want this bright beer to like offset the heaviness.
Yeah, this one is where the spices of the ale add an extra layer of complexity to the pie, making it more rich and multi-dimensional, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Multi-taste-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. Multi-taste-tastenal? No, we'll stick with multi-dimensional.
Yeah, we'll get there someday, guys.
So sweet tooths or savory bites. Either are delicious with the spiced winter ale.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
they are good.
There'll be some good tidbits in there. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have like a mashup here, right? Like we don't necessarily only appeal to breweries and beer, but like there's a whole food piece in here that.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're 50% of this equation that they gotta be in there helping out, and get a food truck in that's kind of making stuff that pairs specifically with beers.
Especially your beers?
Hands down, if I go to a place and they're like, hey, this pairs really well with whatever beer is on tap, I will order both of those. Like, there's no doubt in my mind I will order those. And like, why people don't focus on that more with the marketing is shocking to me. Love a good beer and food pairing. So good.
What a great spot for collaboration too. I mean, we touched on partnerships and collaborations. Beer and food. I mean, one of the most beautiful relationships of all time.
Yeah, deliciousness. So, anyways, that is it for the current Sipisode, brought to you by Body by Beer.
Body by Beer.
Body by Beer. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. Again, please subscribe. It means the world to us. You can subscribe YouTube, Spotify, or really anywhere that you get your podcasts. And then also follow us on social media at Mustard Later. We put up lots of fun videos. We put up our bloopers. We put up us being mad at each other. It's great. It's a great time. You're really just going to watch us at our rawest form. It's fun. It's fun for all.
Good, clean family fun.
Good, clean family fun.
Make sure to tune in next week as we explore more fascinating tales from the world of beer. We'll continue to discuss the ideas around holidays.
Yeah, you got them. It's the season.
Yeah, we've got some big ones coming up here in November.
Yeah.
International Stout Day.
Oh, yeah.
Veterans Day. We'll be honoring Veterans Day.
Yep, it'll be a good episode on that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
War and beer.
Yeah, beer and war, beer and history.
Yeah, beer and history, how it affects each other.
Odd how beer pretty much goes with everything, whether it be good, bad, ugly, indifferent.
I don't think it's odd at all. I think it's enlightening.
I think it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. We've also got National Happy Hour Day, Drinksgiving.
Yep.
Drinksgiving predates Thanksgiving, the day before. We touched on that a little bit early as well.
And my favorite,
Small Brewery Sunday.
Small
Brewery Sunday.
Small Brewery Sunday. Go out and support. Most of those breweries are doing cool stuff,
Yep.
like bringing in other local companies, so you can get like your Christmas gift from like the arts and craft people of the community.
Oh,
like
sure.
they're great days. There's a lot of fun. So support those small breweries. And we'll talk about that and what that means for the industry and why it's even there.
Looking forward to my picture with Santa again this year.
Definitely gonna get my picture with Santa.
It'll be good.
Yay.
If you have any suggestions or stories you want to share or talk to us about, make sure you drop them in the comments. And as always, we really appreciate you tuning in, and thanks for listening.
Yeah. See you next Wednesday. Body by beer.
Bye. Well done.